day of trade, so let's get in a check as to how the benchmark index is panning out. Well, 59.01, that's up by a good 0.5%. You've got the Sensex high by 90 points already. It's 19,414. A very strong bet, but want to watch out on that one because remember, yesterday there was an absolute reversal in the way the market breadth panned out and things took a turn for the worse by the day's close. You've got all of your sectoral indices which are firmly in the green. It's led largely by oil and gas, PSU and power sectors. So you've got the likes of BPCL and ONGC also spurting very smartly in the session. Metals is continuing that stellar run-up, no denying the kind of up move that you've seen this year itself and over the past few months particularly. Reliance Infrastructure, Reliance Industries holding up very strongly. Cipla as well as Hero MotoCorp featuring on that list. Apart from that, Asian Paints is currently higher by a good 1%. You've got BHEL. Infosys is showing you quite a bit of a comeback. Bharti Airtel will very tepid response to the IPO, 317. Axis Bank looking a bit muted. SBI is a bit off, as is M&M and HDFC Bank. Add to that list Tata Motors as well as Sun Pharma. Well, that's how the markets are shaping up. No one's really complaining. But let's get rolling with Traders 20 by first giving you a disclaimer from our end. Do remember to please consult your financial advisor if at all you choose to take on board positions in any of the stocks that have been recommended. Straight to our first two technical titans. Ashwini Gujral joins in from New Delhi. Saumil Mehta joins in from Sharekhan right here in Mumbai. Well, Ashwini, your call on the index at this level, because this is exactly the level that you were talking about on yesterday's close that we were likely to see. So how do you expect the rest of the day to pan out and what are your trading recommendations?
If you keep running on the same spot, I don't think you'll get anywhere. So we fall 25 points, we rally 25 points, but at the end of the day, we are at 5,900. The market is getting into an extreme narrow range, and sooner or later, we will see some kind of large move that will happen. What the trigger for that would be, that time will tell. But definitely this kind of movement cannot sustain for a long time. Now you can broadly say the range about 58.60 to about 59.30. Since we are technically in an uptrend, chances are that large move should happen on the upside. So till that happens, there are several stocks that you can keep buying and keep adding to your portfolio. And generally we've seen the market, when it moves, it tends to move, within 4 or 5 days, it tends to get to a new level. So it's important that you are positioned for the move wherever that happens. Individual stocks, Videocon Industries, a buy of the stock about 210, target of 235. Today, since morning, we are seeing some kind of action in oil marketing companies. So for the day, they seem to be good buys. So HPCL is a buy of the stock about 288, target of 306. Chennai Petro is a buy of the stock about 136, target of 148. And United Phosphorus is a buy of the stock about 122, target of 135.
Okay, so energy is the basket to focus on as per Ashwini, and 4 long ideas are coming your way from him. But let's start with Saumil as well. Saumil, hi and welcome to the show. Tell us about what you're betting on. It's basically high beta.
Absolutely, I'm betting on high beta. I'm expecting markets to rally on the upside. It's a range-bound movement since last 5 weeks now, and I'll be expecting markets to go up till at least 6,100 the short term. So I'm betting on metals first. Hindalco. Hindalco would be my preferred pick. It has formed an inverted head and shoulder pattern on the daily charts. It has broken on the upside. It is just consolidating around the neckline. So the targets would be around 145 in the medium-term outlook, and the stop loss should be maintained at 124. The second stock I'm betting on is Punj Lloyd. Punj Lloyd has formed a huge triangular pattern on the weekly charts. It has broken on the upside, taking supports around the 20 daily moving average. So overall the bias remains positive, and I'll be extremely positive in the medium term outlook as well. So the target would be around 70, and the stop loss should be maintained at 55. The third stock I'm betting on is on the banking side, which is PNB, Punjab National Bank. Punjab National Bank has formed an inverted head and shoulder pattern on the daily charts. It's a huge pattern. It is about to break this pattern on the upside. It is just consolidating, forming a small triangular pattern. I'll be expecting this stock to go up till at least 1,000 levels, and the stop loss should be maintained at 805.
Okay, those are some of the trading recommendations that Sonal is advocating this morning. Well, let's get in our individual queries answered on the show with Ashwini Gujral. The first query for the day comes in on newsmaker RCF. We've got Rajesh Mehta, who is joining on the phone line from Bhavnagar in Gujarat. Hi, Mr. Mehta. Good to have you on the show. Tell us about your holding in RCF.
Yes, madam. Yes.
Yes, Mr. Mehta, what's your query?
Yes, RCF 2000 लिया है हमने. I have purchased at the average rate of 100 rupees for 1 year perspective.
Well, RCF hasn't gone to $100 for a long time. So chances are that you have bought somewhere in 2010. See, the point is quite simple that the stock is not going anywhere. You know, we've been waiting for donkey's years for fertilizer policy and something to happen. It's a regulated industry, something like oil marketing. Fertilizer prices are not market determined. Plus it's a government company, etc. There's very little hope of your making money. I mean, I'm not the kind of person who will give you false hopes, but it's clear that even in a good market, the stock has not performed. So it's best that you move on and move into a space which is not regulated by the government, which operates on business considerations. Those stocks could be, financials or consumption type of stocks. But I don't think fertilizer is going to give you great returns in the days to come.
Okay, that's the word of advice coming in on fertilizer pack as a whole as well as RCF. Mr. Mehta, unfortunately, Ashwini is advising that you exit. Let's move on to the next query for the day. This one comes in on a Tata Motors. We've got Sai Krishna joining us on the phone line from Bangalore. Sai, hi, thanks very much for being with us. Tell us about your holding in Tata Motors.
Hi, morning everybody. Thanks for taking me on. I bought Tata Motors for a quantity of 800 and at a price of 308.10. So I want to know if I can hold it or should I exit?
Well, the problem is that it is a good stock, but you have bought it after it has rallied right from 220 all the way up to, 310. So, I'm not too sure it is the best price to buy the stock at. I would like to buy the stock somewhere between, 270 to 75, where the risk reward would be favorable. Sure, if we start getting a great bull market and Tata Motors start crossing 320, 325, which is the all-time high, it has the potential, theoretically at least, of getting up to 450. But to buy something around its previous highs, you are always risking, a correction back down to those 265, 270 kind of zones. So, my advice would be to enter at lower levels in Tata Motors. Your price is a bit risky, where, if a market corrects even 200 points, you will find yourself back at 275, 280. See, stocks are not property that you buy anything, anywhere, and you'll start making money immediately. Try to buy when the sentiment is a bit low on a particular stock. Right now, it's rallied a lot in the last 3 months since August. It's up almost 50%. So it'll be difficult to get incremental gains from here.
Okay, that's a word of advice coming in on Tata Motors, a buy at levels of 270 to 275. Moving away from that to our last and final query for the day, coming in on Shasan Pharma, which has also seen a stupendous rally over the last 1 month. And this time around, Mahendra Ganatra has sent in this query via email from Mumbai. He's bought 100 shares of this counter at a price of 180 rupees per share. He wants to know now if he should hold or sell with the short-term time horizon of the next 2 months.
Well, again, now you see what I mean. Since December of 2011, the stock was at 40 bucks. It rallied to 180. And the gentleman, I think, bought it at the highs. And that's what happens, you just buy a stock blindly and then it falls 50 bucks. Although it is up 4 times in the last year, but he's down 50 bucks. And for the moment, I think he would have to exit before he risks the stock, halving from his purchase price. So, if you buy at those highs, then you have to have a 10 rupee kind of stop loss, because you're basically trading momentum. But, what he has to do is he has to exit. I think the stock has broken down from its previous intermediate lows, which are about around 140. So it has considerably weakened, and, something that rallies from 40 to 180 can easily correct 50% and still be in an uptrend. So, you tie yourself in all kinds of knots if you buy stocks which have rallied substantially. So right now, it's an exit. He shouldn't lose more money on this trade.
Okay, a clear exit call coming in on Shasan Pharma at current levels. But before we move ahead, a reminder once again then from our end that if you act on any of the advice that's been given on the show, please consult your investment advisor before doing so. Well, it's certainly looking pretty bright this Friday morning for the benchmarks as well as for the mid-cap side of the market, where we have added on a good 0.8% at this point in time, and some really big movers are coming up on your screen. We've got a Suzlon that's added on a whopping 8%. Remember, the lenders will be meeting up today to discuss the CDR package. We've also got an HPCL that's added on a smart 4%. Karur Vysya Bank, it's been a few days of fresh highs. Today is no different. The Cantor's hit a fresh all-time high of 565. Chambal Fertilizer as well as IB Real Estate is seeing fair bit of buying. Losers, of course, aren't too many on the mid-cap side. We've just got some bit of marginal selling coming into a Thermax as well as a Sanofi India.
Okay, on that note, we take it straight to Sandeep Bagli as well as Prakash Gaba to find out the top trading bets that they are identifying. Hi Sandeep, given that the markets are holding up, is it long calls?
Yes, it is all long calls. The bias is very clearly on the upside, and we may have a consolidation, a sideways move in the Nifty, but I think individual stocks, it is better to be long in stocks where the patterns are favorable or positive. I have a buy on Hindalco, stop loss of 129, target 136, a breakout of multiple resistance levels in the daily charts. Now this move should come in over the next 3 to 4 trading sessions. The second one is a buy in BPCL, which has given a price and a volume breakout in hourly and daily charts. I would buy it with a stop loss of 354 and a target of 375 over the next day or two. And the third one is a buy in Can Bank, stop loss of 487, target 507. A very clear multiple resistance has been broken in the weekly chart, so I expect this target to come over the next week or two.
Okay, so Sandeep's recommending buying into BPCL, a Hindalco as well as a Can Bank. And Mr. Gaba, is all long calls what you've also got for us right now?
Yes, absolutely. All long calls, starting with Infosys. Looks like a good base formation out here. Infosys can climb the levels to 2350. Have a stop at the 2285. It's good. Infosys. Second stock that I like is Karnataka Bank. It's given a beautiful breakout at levels, a short-term breakout at around 166. I would have a stop below 162 and expected that Karnataka Bank can climb to levels closer to 175 in a day or two. And third is Tata Global. It's from a good base closer to the levels of around 160. It's more of a short covering move here. I would have a stop below 159 on Tata Global. And I feel in a day or two we can see levels closer to 165 or even higher than that, Tata Global. So all three buys starting with Infosys, Karnataka Bank and Tata Global.
Okay, that is what Prakash Gaba is recommending. 3 buy calls coming in, so it's a mix of large as well as mid caps. Well, it's great going for the benchmark indices as well as the broader markets, and it's a pretty smart breadth that we're dealing with this morning. So as we speak, you've got the small cap index higher by 0.5%. Which are the stocks which are holding up? Take a look at Lloyd Steel. That one is up by a good 20%, 13 very small base, but backed by pretty strong volume activity as well. Indorama Synthetics also, that counter is higher by a good double digits as we speak. Shreyas Vinayak, such a volatile counter, and in fact that one has been up by close to 6% in the last 3 months. Vascon Engineering also, that one higher by 5% as we speak. Quality Dairy, well, that one has been a bit of an underperformer. Over the last 1 month, it's been down by close to 5%. Well, today, you are seeing a little bit of buying activity. On the downside, though, you've got Sujana Tars, which is down and out in the session. Apart from that, Chemrock Industries, which in fact has slumped a good 82% in the last 3 months. Today is no exception. Escomar is also seeing a bit of downside pressure in the session. Apart from that, what's down in the red is Rain Commodities. And Glodine Technoserve, well, some of those usual suspects continue to feature on the list, down 18% in the last 1 month, and Glodine continues to reel under pressure.
Okay, let's move on and get you some more trading ideas as well then. Rajat and Deepak are here with us now. Rajat, start with you, and you've got all three buying ideas actually and one index trade as well.
Yeah, true. I would say that I have actually chosen 2 large cap stocks and 1 index futures. To start with, metal stock, Hindalco. After 4 days of correction, I think Hindalco is gaining traction once again, and chances are that it is likely to hit about 133, 134 kind of target, and keep a stop loss below 129 and trade long on this. The next stock is Tech Mahindra. It should be bought at any dips till such time it stays above 910. Targets could be 940 to about 960. It's a short-term trade, and put a stop below 900 on the close and buy it. The third recommendation is on the Nifty. Nifty January should be bought at around say 5950 or so, and buy more on the dips between say 5935 and 5925, and put a stop loss below 5920 on the close, and targets are 5975, 5985 and 5996.
Okay, some stock recommendations that Rajat is giving. That's a buy call on Hindalco, Tech Mahindra, as well as the Nifty futures, which by the way have gotten off to a pretty great start for the new series. Moving on then to Deepak Mohani. Let's find out what's on his list. Hi Deepak.
Morning. Got 2 buys and a short sale. The first of the buys is very high momentum stock, probably the biggest gainer among the more heavily traded stocks in the market. In the last 2 or 3 months. That's Kolte Patil Developers. It's a buy with a stop loss of 113 and a target of 120. This is resuming a move today. It had a bit of a dip on yesterday actually, and this is already up to a 1-week high. So this is a pure trader's buy really. Pantaloon, this had been consolidating for 2 weeks. The stock of course has been attracting a lot of interest last 2 or 3 months. Volumes show that. And this is a breakout from a consolidation, so once again a good entry point. At a 3-week high today after this breakout, it's a buy with a stop loss of 235, target of 248. 1 intraday short sale, BHEL with a stop loss of 231, target of 220. BHEL down to a 1-week low today in spite of favorable market conditions. And the stock has always been sort of wishy-washy all year, not doing very much, and it's been a reasonably good and safe short sale for the short term throughout the year. Today is yet another chance for it.
Okay, 2 longs and 1 shorting idea. That's what Deepak's got for us right now. With that, of course, we've gotten you 18 equity ideas about what's also happening with commodities, and let's get you some strategies from that particular segment of the market. Manisha Gupta, commodities editor, is here with the latest. Hi, Manisha.
Hi Megha, thank you for that. Well, we have seen good gains continue for the last 24 hours in most of those commodities, especially gold prices, which are headed for the first weekly gain in last 4 weeks. So some bit of a gain holding on to that one. 1660 is where we seem to be trading in the international markets right now. Well, you have seen the ETF holdings continue to be on the higher side. There's impasse in the US budget talks, and that really seems to be supporting the market sentiment. Now says that the budget deal may go through in the last minute before the year ends, and it may really be something very less, and that is something that really is supporting the precious metals right now. Gold prices are up 6% in this year, while silver outperforms with 9% of gains for 2012. It continues to be a good time for the base metal space as well. Copper prices are trading at a 1-week highs, and we have seen US home sales gain up. The Chinese data in this week also has been positive. So all of that adding into the premium into the prices there. The crude prices in the meanwhile are extending their biggest weekly gain since the month of August. The US inventories have declined. There's geopolitical premium coming in from UAE as well. And apart from that, you have seen those positive data, the Iran nuclear program, all of that also adding its way into the prices there. How do you then add or rather trade into the day-to-day? For that, let's get in Naveen Mathur from Angel. He joins us live on the show with his sense on all of those commodities. Naveen, hi, welcome. How would you look at the gold prices in the market today? Some strength coming in, but is it good enough to start buying?
I think, Manisha, the gold prices looks to be positive today, and technically if you see, fundamentally we still feel that it is kind of a bearish tone with a kind of a range-bound movement because of the uncertainties related to the US cliff issues and the budget negotiations which is still underway. But technically we still recommend to buy only for the intraday, which is trading at around 30,740 or so. I would recommend to buy the gold contract on the MCX at around 30,650 to 30,700 levels. We would recommend for this trade to put the stop loss at around the 30,540 and targets on the upside at around 30,870 to 880.
Naveen, what's your sense coming in for the base metal space then? Because all the data, all the China report statements are looking positive for this sector. How would you want to trade this one?
Manisha, what fundamentals you said and talked about were pretty much good for the base metal pack, except for the US fiscal cliff issue, which is still to be resolved. But I think overall the Japanese economy stabilizing, more impetus coming in for the monetary losing there. The Chinese economy on the rock bottom, moving upside. The Eurozone is stable. So all the emerging markets plus the major consumer countries for the base metal are looking positive, and hence going down the line in 2013, we'll still look the base metal pack to be positive. And therefore, even for the intraday, we would recommend to buy the copper contract on the MCX for the February month at around 440.39 to 440. Stop loss at around 436 and targets on the upside at around 445 to 444.
All right, Naveen, I appreciate you joining us with your commodity strategies. So 2 buy calls for crude and rather gold and copper coming in from Angel Commodities for the day today. With that, it's back to you, Aman.
Thanks very much, Manisha, for giving us the latest in the commodities space. So it's fairly buoyant, not just for equities, but buying strategies for the commodities basket as well. On that note, let's give you a quick disclaimer. Do remember to consult your financial advisor. If at all, you will be taking on board any recommendations. Our 6 technical experts, it's been great having you with us on the show.